We now move to the second question, which is question number 612, asked by Honorable M.L. Mletsane to the Minister of Sports, Arts and Culture. The question is about strategies that his department implemented to counter the resurgence of ethno-linguistic narrow nationalism, which is rooted in the apartheid separationist ideology and which contradict the democratic project of the Republic of Unity in Diversity, Multilingualism, and Social Cohesion. Honorable Minister.
Thank you so much, Speaker. Thank you, Ms. Moletani, for the question. I'm not aware of any resurgence of any ethno-linguistic narrow nationalism in South Africa. It would be helpful if the Honorable Moletani could be clearer on which language she believes is surging and thus threatening to remove and replace other languages. Once I have greater clarity on what the threat she has identified might be, it would be easier to explain what strategies would be needed to replace such narrow nationalism as alleged. That being said, I'm happy to point out that the Use of Official Languages Act 12 of 2012 recognizes government's usage of official languages of South Africa to provide information, access, and ensure that services are accessed in citizens' languages of choice. I can share with this House that I've just returned from our fellow BRICS country, Brazil, where 99% of the population speaks the colonial language, Portuguese. We can still learn a few things, though, from our Brazilian comrades on what it means to be a socially cohesive nation. One can also contrast Brazil with another BRICS country, India, which has twice as many official languages as we do, 22, where there are at least 121 full languages and 270 mother tongues. States in India can choose their own official languages or language through legislation, reflecting the linguistic diversity. Despite the fact that they are living in a gigantic Tower of Babel, India is developing and growing more rapidly than South Africa, and they show remarkable social cohesion. I offer these two examples of Brazil and India, two countries that took a completely different path on the use of language, to suggest that there are no easy answers on, nor only one approach for, how to be a socially cohesive nation. It is therefore up to us as South Africans to make our situation work according to our own unique and particular circumstances. In many ways, we have done well, despite the fact that English dominates our society so much. Perhaps it is English that you were referring to as what might be defined as narrow ethno-lingualism. But we should be cautious not to vilify this language, as it offers us the ability to communicate across the divides of race, ethnicity, and culture, and that is more likely to bring us together as a nation than drive us apart. Remarkably, the fact about English is true despite another fact, that it is the first language for less than 10% of our population. Zulu, Xhosa, and Afrikaans are spoken far more at home than English. No doubt the reason English has emerged as our lingua franca is in part due to the cultural dominance of the West, as well as our own colonial history. It would be difficult to shift this now. Despite past suggestions from other parties that we should start speaking Swahili, of all things, supposedly in tribute to Pan-Africanism. That being said and acknowledged, we are nevertheless making strides to accord all our official languages respect, especially the historically marginalized languages. The department is working on amending the Use of Official Languages Act 12 of 2012 to include South African Sign Language as the 12th official language of the country, in line with the Constitution 18 Amendment Act 3 of 2023 that has made South African Sign Language the 12th official language of the country. The department recognizes the equality of languages before the law, while also celebrating national unity in diversity. These measures are intended to ensure sound language management by the national government.
Thank you, Honorable Minister. Your time is up. Honorable Mletsane.
Thank you, Speaker. Minister, how does the department measure both the effectiveness and impact on this initiative in relation to persistent and divisive ideologies that threaten our constitutional division of a unified, diverse, and multilingual society? Thank you, Speaker.
Thank you, Minister.
I don't understand the question. I really don't understand the question. If you can just repeat the question kindly.
Okay, maybe before I ask you can take a seat, Minister. Earlier on, in answering the question, Honorable Member, the Minister said it might be good to give clarity on your question, especially where do you see a resurgence of a language that might be dominating? But he further on, as he answered, to say maybe you may be relating to English, and he further indicated what the department is trying to do to accommodate all languages and using various countries, sharing experiences of what those countries have done. So he now wants, I'm not sure whether you may be able to give the clarity or else you might be much more specific on your question so that the minister is able to answer you. Honorable Member.
Thank you, Speaker. I was talking about the language of English,
Okay.
which our children are forced to use at school, and it's now starting to overcrowd our mother tongue language.
All right. I think you have got clarity, Minister, now.
I got clarity indeed. Thank you. I think we must be realistic. Parliament is the highest house in the country. And before we talk about the children at home, we speak English here in majority. English is the business language. English is the language that is being spoken. And I think it's upon every parent to speak the mother tongue at home and to teach their children the mother tongue. I do not believe that this government in particular is allowing any language to dominate. When democracy happened, other languages were given preference. Other languages, money were put into other languages so that we can speak languages. But to come here and say English is removing all other languages, I honestly, Speaker, feel that we as parents have a responsibility. But at the moment, English is a business language. English is an international language. And I just think we should build on other languages whilst we still speak English. And when we are at the level where we have dictionaries, where we can converse, where books are written in our languages. But I think the government has done really well so far in promoting other languages. Thank you very much.
Thank you. The next question is from Honorable G. Mkunu.
Thank you, Chair. Given the concerning rise of ethno-linguistic narrow nationalism, what specific programs, initiatives, or policies has your department implemented to actively counter this ideology? Furthermore, what measurable outcomes, such as increased multilingualism, strengthened social cohesion, or reduced intergroup tension, can you demonstrate as evidence of progress in promoting national unity? Languages like English has overtaken our native languages. Even at school, we do not learn in our mother tongues, and Khow and San is still not recognized in the Constitution. This has affected our preservation of culture. Other countries like China, Russian, and the Middle East, they learn in native languages and use it as an official language.
Thank you, Honorable Minister.
Firstly, I want to say people like China and them are exporting or importing teachers to come and teach their children English. You've got a lot of South Africans flocking into China. But what have we done? The department funds projects develop language technologies that assist in bringing the digital divide by providing people with further access to information in their mother languages. The department develops and has developed specialized terminologies in all the official languages, collaborating with subject field specialists. We organize the National Language Stakeholder Engagement Forum annually, where language stakeholders share best practices, provide updates on the activities, and advise one another on the implementation of language policies and projects. We also support UNESCO's call for the recognition of the rights of indigenous people and UNESCO the declaration of the year 2022 to 2032 as an internal decade of indigenous languages. As one example of something I'm personally very proud of is the adoption of the IDIL roadmap in 2022. The department launched the new dictionary, a highly endangered indigenous language of South Africa, to assist in preserving this language for use by present and future generations.
Thank you, Minister. Akbar Mulda.
Thank you, Honourable Speaker. I think this is a very good and a very interesting debate we are having with regard to this issue. I want to thank the Honourable Lotane for the question. I was thinking that she was maybe referring to in other languages. But the fact is, if you refer to English, then I think we are not dealing with ethno-linguistic narrow nationalism, but colonialism being in the English language in that sense. I think also the response by the Minister was excellent, dealing with this specific issue, and I think very relevant. The fact of the matter is that our Constitution makes provision for 12 official languages in Section 6, and we all need to develop those languages and take it much further. What I would like to ask the Minister then, if it's necessary to look at different strategies in terms of how do we take this forward, that the Minister also takes into consideration Section 31 of the Constitution, that clearly makes provision for persons belonging to these groups, communities, cultural, religious, linguistic, etc., to allow them the right to develop those communities, to use those languages, and to take that further in a positive manner. I think is a very positive debate. Thank you.
Thank you, Akbar Mulda. Minister.
Ek wil eers sê geluk aan Afrikaans. Afrikaans is 100 jaar oud hierdie jaar. Dit is 'n groot mylpaal dat Afrikaans, my moedertaal en die taal van baie, een van die beste tale wat ons het in Suid-Afrika. Ek is baie trots op Afrikaans. En diegene wat nie van Afrikaans hou nie, jy hoef nie Afrikaans te praat nie, is alright. Speaker, South Africa, allow me to say this. I went to the University of Limpopo, and I was attacked by one of the professors telling me, you just speak English, must speak all languages, and you guys don't promote the languages. I said to him, Professor, you gave me a tour of the very same university before I spoke here. All the signs were in English. Should you not start here as a professor to change that? So I'm saying to this August House, let us start here to start changing that which we want to see. Let's start particularly with these people that sit down when the Afrikaans part of the national anthem is playing. Let's find them. And then they will start standing up. I never met no name there. So I just want to make that clear, Speaker. Thank you.
Thank you. Honorable Member, what's your point of order?
With respect, Speaker,
Yeah.
we don't sit down when the Afrikaans part is being sang. We sit down when the stem is being sung. So the minister must not mislead the people of South Africa. We don't have a problem with Afrikaans. We have a problem with the stem. Thank you very much, Speaker.
Because
I say Afrikaans version
Order.
of the national anthem.
that was not a point of order. And the minister had not made any reference to any individual by any name or group, just as those people. So, ungazivezi, ungakavezu. Honorable Sihle. Honorable Advocate Sihle. Okay, thank you very much. She has missed her turn. She's not on the platform. She's not also advised the table who will take the question. We now move